Howdy folks, how's it going? I'm here hiking in Redwoods National Park, Northern California, and in this video I'm going to tell you 5 different ways that you can avoid getting mauled by a bear. If you are a hiker or a backpacker, then that is definitely a relevant issue. Now, I have had my own run-ins with bears over the years. I was raised in the woods of Northern California, just south of here a little ways. I worked in Denali National Park, Alaska for 3 summers, and Jasper National Park, Alberta for 5 different seasons. And I've had many close encounters with bears, black bears and grizzlies. In Alaska, then a massive grizzly was bearing down on a group of friends that I was hiking with in the tundra, wide open tundra, nothing in the way between us and the bear. And fortunately, just kind of lost interest and wandered off in another direction. But I wish that I had been a little bit more prepared in that instance for a potential bear encounter. So the first way to avoid getting into a confrontation with a bear, especially if you are hiking alone, is to make some noise. And so here I am hiking alone. If you walk along, you know, you're lost in your thoughts, not really paying much attention, not making any noise, then that is the sort of an instance in which you could have a problem, especially in this kind of very thick, forest and undergrowth, in which there could be a bear, hanging out behind a tree or whatever, munching away. You don't hear it, it doesn't hear you until suddenly you get close, and then you're only 15 feet away and it sees you, and then it is in a fight or flight mode, and so either it runs off or it decides to attack you. And that is certainly one of the main ways that people end up getting mauled by bears. And so what you do then is, you could walk along and just talk to yourself, but that would get a little sort of boring or whatever and just kind of sound weird. What you do is you just yell. So you're walking along and you just go, "Hey bear, hey bear, coming through, hello, hey bear." And you don't have to do that, constantly as you're hiking, but just every once in a while, especially if you're in, serious bear country and it is a real problem, then make some noise as you're going along to scare those bears off in another direction. They will hear an unfamiliar sound, a low, deep voice. You want to do it, loud, and a low voice so it sounds like you're something kind of big, and they will just, mosey off in another direction. The second way to avoid getting mauled by a bear is to not run from it. You're hiking along and you have a bear encounter, and your natural instinct may be to want to run as fast as you can in the opposite direction. But that can trigger their predatory instinct, and they may very well come running after you, and you can be assured that they can run faster than you can. So do not run. The third way to avoid getting mauled by a bear is, once you have that close encounter, is to stop and raise your arms over your head, back away slowly, and look at the ground. Don't make eye contact with the bear. Talk to it, yell, say, "Go away, bear, go on, get out of here. I want nothing to do with you." Be making noise at it as you are slowly backing away, arms raised so that you look larger. Bears have very bad eyesight, and so if they see this and that looks bigger than this, that doesn't work, and a bear is coming at you, then number 4 is not one that I have actually seen specifically recommended in other places, but it just makes sense to me, which is to have a walking stick. So I was recently trekking in Nepal in the Himalaya mountains, and I talked to some local guys there while I was on the trail, who said that they had actually just seen a bear 5 minutes before. And that is very rare in that area. It's a very popular trekking area. Lots of people going up and down the trails there. I was surprised to hear that, but that was definitely a wake-up call. And that got me thinking a little bit more about possible bear encounters. And I just happened to have a walking stick with me at the time that I was, trekking with, carrying a big backpack. I don't normally walk with a walking stick. I don't have one now. But if it's you and a bear, open space, nothing between you and it, would you rather have a stick or not have a stick? It just makes sense to me that you're at least a little bit better off with something to poke between you and it. And so you might want to consider hiking with a walking stick. And if you have a bear encounter, then try those other means first. You obviously aren't going to make use of a walking stick by running after a bear and attacking it or something. But if it comes to a worst case scenario in which it is you and the bear and it is coming after you, then that is something that you can hold out, point at it, and it might think twice about messing with you for one thing. You also have something to potentially injure it as it's trying to come at you, and that may, send it off in the other direction. It just seems to me that it makes sense to have something that will put some distance between you and a potential bear mauling incident. Number 5 is to have something that makes some real noise. And so I have a couple of things on me. One is a whistle, and I'm not going to blow that because it'll be very loud. And then I have something else that is even more annoying. It is called a sound grenade. I just got it. I am planning to go on a backpacking trip in the Marble Mountains of Northern California, which are out that way. And the potential of a bear incident has been on my mind a little bit, especially since I'm planning to go solo. And so I wanted to be especially prepared for this upcoming trip. And so I had come across a comment somewhere of someone recommending a whistle, and that just makes sense. A loud, piercing noise like that is definitely likely to scare off a wild animal that has never heard a noise like that. But then I thought, might as well double it up and have something like this. And so with this thing, I'm not going to demonstrate this one either because it is very loud, but you unclick this thing right here, and it makes a very high-pitched warbling sort of a noise, very loud, but it is not so loud that it damages your hearing or anything, because obviously you are the one that is going to be closest to this device, but it is certainly a sound that is likely to scare away wild animals. And so you can get these on Amazon. They're about $15 to $20. Sound Grenade by Robocop is the company. I'll put a link down below the video here. And so that is kind of your last best chance to scare off a bear. Or you could even, do it before it gets so close you got to use the walking stick. And in the middle of your, backing away and making noise at it, etc., when it's hopefully some distance away, is pull out these sound devices and hopefully scare it off that way. So I hope that makes sense and works if anyone has bear encounters. Hiking in the wilderness is always, a risk. There are more risks than just bears, and bears are actually one of the, less risks that you're likely to face. But it is one of the things that people are most likely to be afraid of, despite all of the other things that could happen. Even though it is highly unlikely to have a bear encounter, just having those ideas in your mind and having some, tools that can help can really ease your mind while hiking in the wilderness. So thanks for watching. Have a good one and hike safe. Check that out, folks. I could be wrong, but I believe that is a bear scat there. Feel free to tell me if you are a scatology expert and it is some other animal. It's only 10 minutes since I finished recording that video. In the bathrooms of the campground where I stayed last night, then there was a sign warning that there had been sightings of cougar and bear in the parks around here recently. So there are bears around here. I'm glad I'm prepared. See ya.